Let's go. All right.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
I hope
the
everyone-
boys are back in town.
I hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
But
And
now,
we're live from the 5th floor of Bondurant Library on the beautiful campus of SMU in the Big D. You are listening to the Mustang Mood Podcast.
Merry Christmas, all. Happy New
Yes,
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And happy basketball season, happy bowl season.
Mhm.
Yeah, football for SMU is over.
Sadly.
and
It's
now-
never
okay.
over. It just means that we're in the next phase, which is transfer portal recruiting and
Right.
yeah, and guess
training
what?
and-
Like, we recorded that episode after the loss to Penn State. We were sad. Spent a few
Mhm.
days grieving, and then I was like, I'm excited for next season.
Yeah. I'm
Already
very excited.
I'm already
Yeah.
ready.
Y'all were very optimistic at the end of that podcast about next season. I'm a little less. I'm
Yeah.
like a little worried about our skill positions. Not about Kevin, just about like the guys we have around him,
Yeah,
the wide receiver and running back.
we're
But
losing some big players.
we really are. We had
Lot
some
of-
great guys on our team this
A
year.
lot of guys declaring for the draft right now.
Yeah.
Happy for them. Sad for us.
I don't know. I'm like,
Y'all see the guy from Washington who declared like open to work on LinkedIn
I love
instead
that.
of declaring for the draft.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, I don't have a shot. Yeah, give me a job.
That's fair.
Realistic.
Well, I'll tell you someone who doesn't need to be open for work on LinkedIn. That's Cooper Flagg. that guy's good at basketball.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He scored a lot of points
Yeah.
on us today.
Did we win the game
Efficiently.
if we don't? Well, actually,
No.
what was Ben's
Yeah.
special like metric?
For me, at some point, the only way to keep myself engaged was to say, "Can we beat Duke minus the points from Cooper Flagg?" We were in that for a while, and then we ended up losing
Yeah.
without him. So
Dang.
Lost by
it didn't work out.
27.
Yeah, and
Cooper
It's
had
24.
24.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, he had 24 early in the second half, and he didn't really do anything.
Yeah, he didn't
else,
score a
but
whole
He didn't
lot.
have to.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, the thing is that talent-wise, I think Duke is the best talented roster in college basketball.
They're so good.
They're
Their
just-
defense is
It's
awesome.
incredible. One of the
Yeah.
they were at the game. I was watching it, and the announcers said that, or one of the analysts said that this is actually the strongest defense Duke has had in like 10 years.
I believe that.
And
From what I saw.
what's his name? One of their players is like leading the league in like deflections, like on defense, like by like just one of their guys, like the leading deflections guy.
Wow.
Dang.
Anyway, so yeah, Duke has an elite defense, and in my opinion, they have the best college player that's come through in the last 10 years, like the best player that's come through college basketball in 10 years. So it's tough to beat that.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I was prepared coming in. I'd never seen Cooper Flagg play, just 'cause I haven't really paid attention that much. But I was prepared to just like heckle him a little bit, say he's overrated. I was like, surely he's not that good. And then he started playing. I was like, okay, yeah, he's that good.
You know, he trained with Team USA before the Olympics, and the Olympic
Oh, that's
players said that he was the most developed player that they've ever seen out of a high school.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Like this is like
He's from,
LeBron
like,
and
Maine,
KD.
right?
Yeah,
He's like not from like a
he's
regular.
from Maine. Yeah.
Yeah. They said that he was
Basketball
basically able to, like, he could have basically played in the Olympics with
Yeah.
them. Is like how good he
Yeah.
was at, and he wasn't even 18 at the time, I think, or he just turned
crazy.
18. It's something crazy like that.
Some people are just
Poised,
built different.
yeah, crazy high IQ, and then just talented.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of break down some of the stats. Turnovers, we were pretty tight with them on turnovers today. I think it was 6-6. Sorry, I was saying that and then I lost it. Total turnover 7-7. Sorry.
Only one more turnover than our game against Duke in football.
Exactly, that's a good point. But the points off
That's
turnovers,
crazy.
They definitely had more points
Yeah.
off turnovers than.
Hey, actually, we won
in
that
football.
battle. We scored 10 points off turnovers. They only had 7. So
Well, there you go.
Stop the count.
That's all. The only stat
That's
that
what
matters
That's
this
the only
game.
Well, other
Don't-
than
Right.
89-62.
Don't look at the free throws either.
Well, I was going to get to that. That's the most Rob Lanier stat that I've ever seen. SMU.
I'm sorry, Andy. That's
SMU went
definitely a dig, but
11 for 25.
Yeah.
From the stripe, shot 44%.
So we could have beat Cooper Flagg.
It's
if
like
we made
we're
our
talking
free
about how
throws.
great Duke's defense is, but I mean, we were getting thumped from the line. I mean, it's just like it's crazy.
What was theirs?
They shot 12 of 16 for 75 points.
That's like college
Se-
respectable
75%.
levels.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so
definitely.
the tough thing is going into this game, we were like 75% from the free throw line, and then you look at this game and what did he say he was? I wasn't.
Oh,
listening.
11 for
Less
25, so
than
it's like
50%.
40%.
Yeah, exactly.
44%.
So for us to drop off, so I think this was just an off game in general. Duke, very good team, extremely good defense.
Yeah.
We've had several games this season where we scored over 100 points. We averaged like 86 points a game before this one, and then we go and score 62, and then our free throws are less than 50% instead of at 75. And that's kind of the tell for me is like the free throws is the one thing that Duke has no control over on how we do.
And we just had an off day.
And we were just off. So I think it was just an off day. We hung with them in the first half because Duke was not playing as well as they should have been.
Yeah. Well, when Duke
is
shoots 53% from the floor, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And they shot 40% from behind the arc, and we shot 23. And then we were 34% from the field. So it's just
I can forgive this stuff more if we were in the hostile environment. The problem is that they went into our gym,
which was
and
not
they shot better
not
on
hostile.
free.
Which was not a hostile environment.
Yeah, well,
very
we can talk.
disappointing.
We should talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
The disappointing. Even listening to the broadcast, like it was
quiet.
disappointing. It
Yeah.
was much quieter than I had hoped. But like free throws, like you expect to affect somebody on their free throws, and they shoot 75 and we shoot 44.
Yeah.
Like there's something wrong there.
Something was off. This was not the team that I watched play against Virginia, against Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
It's something was just off, and it's okay. You have your off games, right? It's they're coming off of New Year's, off of Christmas.
Do you think they were shell shocked like we were at Penn State in football? Just
Maybe.
like going up against like Duke, like hey, this is probably the biggest.
I
team
mean,
we're gonna play all
they
year.
fought back.
Say
Like
about
it looked like it could get out of hand early, and then we kind of fought back and kept it close.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest takeaway, for sure, was I only see one guy on the court for SMU that can create his own shot, and I also see only one guy that can consistently knock down shots, and that's the same player, Boopie Miller. Nobody else. I mean, Matt Cross to me feels very like hot and cold.
Yep.
Nobody else could create anything except for maybe Yukatoglu at times, but he is such a liability on defense. I mean, he was getting eaten alive by Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
He also struggled
So-
on his free throws. Like he
Yeah,
misses like opening two, and then
I mean, going into this game, he was like mid 60s, but he did really bad on free throws, which is tough.
Stuff's got to be improved before the tournament.
it's only
For sure. It's still early.
I
It's still
still
early.
think we can make the tournament. I said this before the season started. I thought we could make the tournament this year, and I still think we can. It's a tall order, but I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see.
I think we got the shot. We got a shot at being a tournament team.
Maybe so.
We're right on the bubble right now. I think everyone kind of projects us to be there. I think we'll learn a lot about this team on Tuesday night when we go to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
See how we perform there. And then we come back and play Georgia Tech. So, like, how do we handle these next two games?
Mm-hmm.
Can we take care of
It's
business?
a tough stretch.
Yeah. It's tough, but it's doable. I mean, you want to guess how many teams are ranked right now in the ACC?
7.
3.
4.
1.
Duke's
What?
the only one?
Duke is the only team that's ranked
Wow.
in the
Gosh.
ACC right now.
No way.
Was it all just like Big 12 and
SEC.
Yeah, SEC is actually
I threw out
it's the
7
bias, really,
confidently.
is what's happening.
wow.
I knew UNC wasn't ranked just from today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're the
That's-
only team that's ranked in the top 25.
that's crazy.
So the door's open, right? If we want to go and take it, we can.
Same for football.
Hey,
We came in at a good time.
exactly. And so if we want to take advantage of a down year, now's the time. And just because we're not ranked doesn't mean we're not good. Look at NC State last year. It's like they won all their ACC tournament games and then went on a tear to the Final Four. It's like that's possible, right? That's what we love about tournaments, right? Is if you win the rest of your games, you'll be national champions. So
And I think the other thing too is what were our expectations for this year? I know we didn't do a pre-season podcast about it, but for me, I mean, this is a total rebuild. I mean, I think from who saw the field, 2 players were here last year, and only one of them played consistently. Chuck Harris, he doesn't even play that much.
Yeah.
BJ Edwards didn't play a lot last year. He's playing a lot this year, but even then, everybody's new, and I know for Duke that's normal because they get a lot of one and done.
Yeah, they
but
reload.
but still, it's a first year under a new head coach. He's recruiting really well. The fact that we're even competitive, I think, is a positive because again, my expectations were so low for this year. So
Yeah, I actually went and listened to our basketball episode after we lost in the AAC tournament last year.
Yeah.
I listened to it this morning, and it was pretty funny. We were pretty down bad.
oh yeah,
And none of us really thought that Lanier was going to get fired.
yeah, we all wanted.
We wanted,
We
but
wanted
we didn't
it,
think
yeah.
he would.
Yeah.
And
I remember being surprised. Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
also funny, someone said, I think it was either Ben or Brian, they said that we need a like young, energetic coach.
I mean, yeah. And it may not be.
Instead, we got Creed Bratton, basically.
And Andy's the bright guy for the job, I think.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's recruiting, like he has a top 10 recruiting
what do
class.
we know?
After number one, how bad we are. Number two, how terrible our environment in the stadium is, or in the arena is.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad.
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll throw them a bone and say, hey, school's not back in session, so
Right. Maybe
you
that's
don't
why.
have all the students there.
It's a
But
tough time to have.
It was, I think it honestly was probably about half Duke fans.
That's crazy.
I think it was close.
Yeah, maybe like 35%.
Maybe a third, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I was when I was walking around to get a drink during halftime, there was a lot of Duke shirts.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell because the blue
it's
is
the same blue.
Yeah, the blue is very similar.
You know what I saw a lot of actually is Montana State fans. They play in the FCS National Championship. I saw
really?
at least 5 Montana State fans. I'm like, man, they know ball, right? They're coming down here for the FCS National Championship. They're like,
let's go see
what
Duke.
else is happening in town?
Yeah.
Oh, Duke's playing. So they came to SMU versus Duke.
I did see one of
So,
those
mad
hats.
respect.
I was really confused.
Yeah.
I guess that explains it. Where do they play?
Frisco. At
Oh, really?
The stadium. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nice.
Where FC Dallas plays?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
So
that's an
I think
Didn't
that's
know
on
that.
Monday night. Maybe it's tomorrow night.
that's an interesting.
Oh wait,
spot.
this is the All-Star thing, right?
No. This is
No,
the
no.
FCS National Championship.
Okay, I've also been seeing the All-Star, the college
Yeah, the
All-Star Bowl.
Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, the Shriners
and the East
that
versus
host it.
West. Yeah.
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 I forgot that game existed until I started to get the ads for it again. I was like,
Senior
oh yeah,
Bowls.
we do have that.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
speaking
is an
of
All-Star game for college athletes.
Staying on the
college
football thing, did you guys see that Chad Morris lost in his return to Ford Field? Wait, did they lose? Oh no, they won.
No.
Yeah, who
Wait,
won?
who-
Did Texas State
did Texas
win?
State win?
Is
They
Chad
did.
Morris?
Yeah.
Because he's the wide
Texas State
receiver.
won.
He's the wide
Yeah.
receiver coach / passing game coordinator. No, yeah, he
For
did
UNT?
win.
UNT's
No,
had
for Texas State.
So he won.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah.
Man,
'Cause
we
UNT
could
made a
break down
comeback.
that
Dude, he would have been playing his
That
son.
game yesterday was insane.
He would have been playing his son if Chandler had
Well,
Oh,
so what's
had
funny
transferred,
is
but he transferred, so he didn't
what's
play.
funny is
he still has
so
eligibility.
Yeah.
what's funny is I forgot that game was going on, and I live near campus, and my wife and I are like doing dishes or something. I don't know, and we just hear a whoosh, like super loud, like really really low. And I'm sorry for anyone listening. That was probably loud too, but that's the way we felt though. So there you go. We're like, what the heck is that? And Eric was like, are we getting attacked? I was like, no, I don't think so, but it was really close. Jet really close, and then we realized the game was going on. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that was the
the
flyover.
It
for
seemed
the
like it was
national anthem.
I saw just like one clip. It looked like it was pretty full, like pretty half
I
and
bet
half
it
too.
was. They go pretty hard.
I think
UNT.
Texas State filled up their side, and I think UNT's side was like 2/3, 75%.
not bad.
From what I
Yeah.
saw.
Okay.
I mean, for
So-
UNT, that's not bad because Texas State they have a lot of students. I didn't realize how many students
It's a big
Texas
school,
State
And
had.
they
have a ton.
they go all out.
They
too.
like to party.
Yeah, they do.
They did not drink the stadium out of beer this time.
Good to know.
Oh.
Good for them.
So they did that last year.
Yeah.
showing restraint.
Also, it was not the most attended game at Ford Stadium this year.
That's
which
go.
also
which
good.
it was last year.
It was
So,
last year.
That's
yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, that's very embarrassing.
We got
But
this
yeah,
year.
It's
there
'cause
was
we're a
beer,
football school
and
now.
we had more fans this year. So
Nice.
respect. But man, honestly, I kind of want to talk about Drew Mestamaker a little bit. It's like
The
he went
kid?
off yesterday. He hadn't started a game
I don't
since
understand
he
that.
was a freshman in high school.
How was he recruited as a quarterback then?
And then Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach sees some film of him or something, and he's like, "Nah, this guy's good. I want to train him." And so he starts training him. He gets to go to UNT, and he had himself a day yesterday. He threw, let's see,
UNT only lost by 2.
393 yards. Averaged.
I think he had like 60 yards rushing or something like that too.
Yeah. So he went off. He looked great, and if he wants to transfer to a good school in North Texas, come on. I mean, it definitely would not hurt to have him on our team.
So he was he planning on playing in college, not as a quarterback, and then he got trained.
He was like a punter or something.
he was an all conference punter, and I think he played safety as well.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, something like
It was
that.
something like
I
that.
I saw that article,
Yeah.
but that's
It was
crazy.
crazy. It was crazy to watch.
College football.
And he's
Good for
a
him.
great
he's
game.
a walk on, right? I think I read
yeah,
that he was a walk on.
He was a walk on.
Man,
Wow.
That's crazy.
I love college football.
I
Yeah,
know. But back
And-
to basketball.
but
Actually, okay, we'll go back to football again later.
I was just gonna say, but if he ends up being good, the story will be ruined because he'll end up transferring somewhere that can pay him more money.
Yeah,
I mean,
unfortunately,
I
know we
We'll pay
benefit.
you.
I know we benefit from that, but it's still sometimes kind of. I feel bad for the little guys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really need him. We got a great quarterback coming in this recruiting class.
That's true.
and,
Yeah. No,
you know,
we're
AJ's
we're
good
fine.
for 2 years,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
But I mean, if he wanted to come, have y'all seen the thing? The Wisconsin quarterback's also looking at coming to.
I saw
SMU?
that.
Apparently, he played with
Yep, in Miami.
at Miami with Lashley, and so
I saw something about like he might try to get into coaching, and that might be why he's coming as a
interesting.
backup.
Mm.
I don't know for sure, but
so to learn.
That's
under
a good
Derek
idea.
I
King.
guess so.
Probably, yeah.
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 And I guess it wouldn't be bad to have a good backup, right? To prevent
Like
freshmen
a-
from having
yeah.
to burn his red shirt.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about is Preston Stone didn't play in the fourth quarter. We put in
Luster.
Luster.
Yeah.
It's because he already knew where he was going.
Yeah.
Like, it was the next day when they
I imagine
announced.
that if we needed him to like come into a
He would
competitive
have.
game,
Yeah.
he would have. But
I think
They didn't need him.
didn't Rhett Lashley say they had a conversation at the end, and he was kind of like, I don't think I should.
Oh, he did, yeah.
I think something like that.
I didn't
yeah.
hear that, but that makes sense.
I forgot about
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like. What's the point in him going in garbage time? You know.
Yeah, might as well get Luster sometime.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that. Sure.
in terms of basketball, yeah, like what do y'all think our expectations are for this season?
I think after our start, I feel like we can at least come in like top middle of the field.
Yeah,
In the
I hope that
conference.
we're in the top 10 of the ACC. I'm still like probably 5th or 6th. I think would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
yeah.
That's like our hope. Our hope is 5th or 6th, or that's like our expectation is 5th.
I
My
think
expectation would be,
that's my projection.
That would be
Okay.
that would be my hope.
I mean,
is
my-
being like in
yeah.
the top 6 to 8 in the conference ish.
My expectation, it would be like 8 or something, 7,
Yeah.
8, and then my hope would be like 5th. Like 5th would be like, if we hit that, I'd be like, man, this would be like us getting to 10, 11 wins in football, where it's like, oh, I didn't expect that. Just because we're not really a reload program the
No,
way that Duke
we're-
is, and so it takes time.
This is a rebuild for sure.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
But I mean, if we win the rest of our games, we'll be national champions.
I think if we
So,
could finish.
It's always right there.
I think if we could finish 4th through 6th ish in the conference,
That's a win for
and
sure.
maybe make it to the semis at least of the ACC champ. I think we could make the tournament as a low seed.
Yeah.
but
and just
potentially-
making the
Either-
tournament is
Yeah, that
success.
should be
We're all
that's higher than I would have.
Yeah,
expected.
that's my hope is to
Making
just
the
make the
tournament.
yeah.
tournament.
So make the tournament. We've had a great year.
or win
We're
the
happy.
NIT. Those are my
Or
two.
yeah, winning the NIT is kind of like, in my
I don't-
opinion, it
I
shows
don't
like,
care for the
so this team
NIT.
got left out when they really shouldn't have. That's always what I feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this team's better than all.
I don't care
the
for the
others.
NIT personally, but
Yeah. I don't think it says much.
how about the CBA though? Let's win the CBA.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so what was the TV experience like with just seeing the crowd?
I mean, it looked full, which is
It
why I
was.
was surprised that it wasn't that loud.
The energy was
Um,
pretty low.
Because I've been in Moody when it was loud in games that weren't as big as this one,
Mhm.
which is what threw me off. But yeah, I mean, like the stadium was full, and so it's one of those things where you expect, when you're in an enclosed dome, basketball stadiums are just, they tend to be very loud because the sound just reverberates, and when everyone's cheering together, it works really well. Even when you have a 50-50 stadium, even when just half of your fans are going for it, like you can feel it, and even on the court, like you'll feel it coming in, like it's intense. I've never experienced it with football, but with basketball, it really reverberates and just didn't give me that impression. So,
We had
I would say
moments.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always moments like when there's something big that happens. There's always that, but it also never felt like we ever got enough like stringed momentum together to really build something up. When you're down 15, it's kind of hard to get everyone really excited. When you
Yeah.
hit a 3, they get a 2, and it's like, okay, well, you only have one
Yeah.
different. So
I agree, but even from the tip, like it was pretty dead. Like again, we talked about this at the game. Most stadiums or most basketball arenas, like you stand until the other team scores. We didn't even do that, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of silly.
I didn't see anyone standing like hardly at all. There was
No.
never a
The
moment
student
when the
section-
whole crowd was on their feet.
The mob was
Yeah.
standing for most of the game, like right behind the
Yeah.
sport table.
They weren't very loud though. I
No,
mean, maybe
no, they
that's
weren't.
again the
Well,
students
we were
weren't there.
behind.
There weren't many students there. That was
Yeah.
the problem.
yeah, I think that's really the biggest thing is that you got to have young
And it's
people
It's
there.
a 1:15 p.m. game too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there were a lot of things that played into this. I think students is the biggest piece.
Yeah.
and we just haven't been able to get back to. When I think about Moody Magic, I think about 2017 USC. That game was amazing. Everyone was on their feet the entire game, and it was electric. The game was good. The team was good. I think I just so wish that
was Infield the coach then?
Who
was it? Infield the coach, Andy
at USC. I think so. Yeah, he was.
Oh,
during that game.
Yeah, I guess so.
He was.
So he knows what it's like.
He knows what it's like, exactly. And so it should be that level. But yeah, I just so wish that this game was next month when students are back and when people are starting to think about the team a little bit. It's like, for me personally, I haven't been watching like full basketball games. I've been like catching up instead of
because football
like locked in
ended. Yeah,
because football just ended, right? Like we've had one game, one basketball game against a non-conference team since the basketball season ended. And so like it's been hard to get into that because I've been so into football. And so now like I'm starting to get into the team, but like this is the first opportunity I had.
Yeah, and you also just like we were an unranked team against number 4 Duke.
Right.
I'd say the score kind of ended what you would expect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely what the guy sitting next to me expected. Oh my gosh.
We had a Duke aficionado.
A Duke obnoxionado next to me.
I mean, he was a nice guy.
Hey,
he was nice.
He knew what to do with the rock. I tell you what. He never said, "Hey, pass the ball." It was always the rock.
My favorite part was right at the beginning of the game when Matt Cross like bobbled a dribble or whatever. And he's like, "You can't dribble, and then like the next
three.
And then he like just drains a 3, and then
like
I
5 seconds.
And then I like turned and yelled at him, "But he can shoot though." It was so funny. But there was some banter going back and forth.
Yeah,
I think maybe he took it a little too far after it was pretty like set that they were going to beat us.
Yeah,
pretty handily.
When they were up 20 and he kept going.
And he's like, "Oh, they're going to put their third strings in." I was like, "Okay, thanks. Please scoot over. The people have already left next to you. Get away from me." Yeah.
Not as bad as the Nebraska fan, right? Wait, was
Wisconsin.
it Wisconsin fan? Yeah.
Oh, well, that was funny.
At the ACC championship.
But then in like halftime, he's like, "We're going to beat you by 20. And then when they started beating us by 20, he's like, "What'd I tell you?" I was like, "All right, bud."
I
didn't disagree with you.
That guy was hostile. This guy wasn't hostile. That guy was hostile, though.
Yeah.
That guy was like, just relax. Like, we kept looking back, like, just watch the game. Like, we're here to watch the game. Just shut up, please. I feel
a Nebraska fan.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah.
I think going back,
Random.
I feel like there's been a large push from the administration to like get behind the football team, and I think we need that from basketball because I feel like SMU fans, maybe it's just Dallas, like we're so fair weather. Like if the team is good, we show up, and I don't mean us, but just generally. Whereas if we're bad, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So like even though we're doing pretty well so far, we've been bad lately. Like nobody shows up, nobody makes noise. We're not like.
Well, it's 40 years of branding that you have to undo because.
But we were a basketball school. So it shouldn't be that hard.
I wouldn't say that we're a basketball school. Like we had a few good years of basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, since the death penalty, we've only had basketball.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like the school has kind of branded itself as, like, it's a family event. Like, if you remember, like, well, I guess it depends if you kind of grew up in Dallas. But growing up in Dallas, like, going to the SMU football games with, like, the green grass and everything, like, it was like a family event. They had, like, bounce houses and stuff. You bring your kids to it. It was never, like, SMU sports was never something that you go there to get, like, rowdy for or get like really into. It's always been something that's like you go for like a casual good time. That's why people sit so much. That's why I think that we're struggling with a lot of traditions of like, you know, getting fans really into it. It's because we branded ourselves as a family and now we're shifting that brand. It
takes time.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's gonna take 4 years.
Yeah,
it's gonna take
It's a culture change.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I think Jankovic didn't steward the culture very well, and then Rob Lanier, I mean, just absolutely didn't do anything with the culture. And so it kind of has died out. Now it can come back, and I think performance is a big part of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
it's great and all to be
something.
Playing all these teams. Like we can play Duke every year, but if we never beat Duke, or if we never beat North Carolina, or Clemson, or these higher power ACC teams, then it's not going to go well.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it's like when did the football team like really take off and everyone got really invested?
this year.
Florida State game.
Yeah.
Like what game specifically? Florida State game.
Yeah.
We need a game like that. Obviously, Florida State didn't turn out to be a good team.
Didn't matter,
But
though.
I think it's a result of the TCU game. Like, we thumped TCU.
Yeah, I guess TCU as well.
Yeah.
Was a big part.
But if we look back at BYU, like the BYU game was exactly what I would have expected from a Big 12 game last year. Mostly full on a Friday night. That's peak American Conference. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway,
going back to the team specifically, it also felt like, and again, I think you can tell that Andy Enfield's a very, very good coach, but you could just tell, like, on defense especially, like, it just felt like there were so many times where the guys were asleep. Like, the amount of times we left Cooper Flag wide open was just, to me, was insane because, again, like, leave anybody else open. But, like, this guy is cold. Like, you cannot leave him open.
Yeah.
And so it just felt like a lot of laziness. Maybe just, like, falling asleep. A lot of, like, the quick screens off of the inbounds.
We were just getting totally lost on screens and switching. The guys weren't switching. They were just following the guy with the ball, leaving the screener wide open.
Yeah.
When they were running a zone, they would let all the passing, get them all bundled up, where we had, like, 4 guys on one side of the paint, or, like, outside of the paint on one side of the court. And 3 offensive players on the other side wide open. And so it's just kind of being more aware of, like, where you are, where everyone else is, where the ball is, who's open, who's not. Like,
and I mean, to be fair, like, the way they ran their offensive system, you could tell, like, these guys are well coached. As much as, like, I want to call their coach a jag because he just followed Coach Krzyzewski, and I actually feel like
it wasn't their head coach.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, I know he wasn't there, but I just mean, like, they're coached by him. But, like, and their passing was very, like, quick and crisp, and so that's a fair point in the sense that
and the defense.
It was a very hard team to play defense against, and yes, offense for sure. Yeah, especially because like they got so many easy shots.
Yeah,
everything we did looked like it was incredibly hard to come by.
It was.
Yeah.
That's one of the things and that's really when you're being outclassed, like just talented and just in general, is when even if the score is the same, if every time that you're scoring or even on a drive, you see a drive happen and it takes you every third down, you have to get a third down conversion just to get down and score. Nothing's easy. And they get like a 30-yard play, 40-yard play, and then 20-yard touchdown. Like it's like, that's how you know that it's like a difference of like caliber.
Yeah.
And that is what it felt like.
We can't stay away from football.
Yeah, we got to.
I love football so much, guys. I'm like,
we got football's done.
No, it's not. There is.
Wait, hold on.
There's more football.
I had to add one more thing about that because I was. That's why I was so frustrated about Penn State. I think Penn State was more talented than us, but it never felt like, oh, they're just totally outclassing us. It was just like we just gave it to them. Yeah. They might have still done that if we hadn't. Like we might have worn down as time went on, but we never got to see them have to like do something to us. We just gave it to them.
Yeah,
we threw away 28 points in terms of a score with the two,
and we would have had a chance. We're not saying we would have won, but
all right,
we need to move on.
But anyways,
all right, so football.
I'm not down on the basketball team.
No,
I'm very
I'm
excited
stoked, actually. I
for
think
the future.
We're doing better. Everyone made fun, or maybe it was Drew that made fun of me. I was like, guys, I think that we're going to make the tournament, first of all. But then I said, I only see a couple losing games in their first like 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
And we only lost 2.
And
they weren't the games I thought.
2 games of January, but
what are we? Are we 7-2, 8-2? What are we?
No,
we're
11-3 now.
We're 11-3.
Oh, okay.
No, we're the football team.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey, we didn't lose the games that I thought we would. I thought we'd lose to Virginia, but
yeah.
This is a great start. This is a great start to our season.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I'm stoked.
We were talking about this earlier. We're a very new team. Like we're very there's not a lot of carryover from last season. And so it takes
Colorado
some time.
When Dion took over.
Exactly. It takes some time to mesh.
Yeah.
And so I think the team that lost to Butler was not the team that, beat Virginia or Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Like those teams looked very different.
Yeah.
So
and I think too, like I don't think we played very well in the first half, but I was fairly. I mean, we were only down by 9. I was fairly
close.
pleased. I mean, yeah, and
but Duke's a second half team.
Yeah, we did learn that from him. Yeah, that's true.
Another thing too, we lost to Mississippi State by 5, and Mississippi State
they're actually good.
Ranked. Yeah. So I mean, and we beat LSU. Like things are like I am not down on this season.
Yeah.
At all.
No, we beat good teams, and the games that we lost were against good teams. Like so, we don't have any like NIU games.
And like
right.
And Andy Enfield is recruiting here without any He has proof in his career, but I mean, like here,
Nothing
we haven't
SMU's
done
been
anything
proven,
yet,
and
and he's recruiting
we're rolling.
highly. So if we get better, like, can only get better from there.
Yeah.
The other awesome thing about basketball is in the same way that like guys like Cooper Flag can just change your team. In football, you can get like the best defensive tackle in the country, and your team may not like. Maybe he gets you one more win, but it's not gonna like just change your season.
Yeah.
Basketball, you get a forward that's like elite. He could add 6 wins to your season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you put it together a top 10 class where you get an elite forward, an elite guard, like
Right.
all of a sudden you go from being like, 12-20 to being like a 22-10. Like you can real quickly just shift that around with just 2 guys.
Yeah,
And that's
So,
yeah.
and Enfield's doing that.
and Infield's doing
yeah.
that. So
I think that's
I'm
also
stoked for basketball. I think
yeah. The future's bright, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would almost say that the future of basketball is brighter than football. Anyway, no need to compare, but
It's
I'd
a
say
lot.
they're both
I don't
bright,
know.
but yeah, I'd say I think the path is easier for basketball.
Yeah.
But football we have buy-in already for football that I think we're gonna be able to really ride.
Like it's easier to win a championship in basketball than football. Just 'cause,
Yeah.
like you said, there's only 5 players out there at a time. So
Mhm.
One player can drastically change
yeah.
it. That's why we have Cinderella runs in basketball.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
You go to
Yeah.
the college football playoffs, all the favored teams won. Every favored team won.
Well, except second round.
well, I guess
What do you mean?
I think all the favored.
No, all the
Oh, the
Vegas was
favored.
right every time.
I got you.
Like,
Yeah.
The seeding is because of conference championships. It's not because of how good
the seeding is so misleading.
Okay,
It's very misleading.
this is what I want to talk about: is how should we restructure the college football playoff? I think that I'm super bummed as an SMU fan. We had to go to Penn State in kind of like early December, like December. What was it? 20? Okay, well, 20th,
Mhm.
Yeah.
21st, something like that.
Late
Anyway,
December.
in
Late
mid-December, we had to go to Penn State, and that's the end of our season. Like UNT had a celebration of their 6-6 season. They got to go to a bowl and like have fun and like do like bowl things, whereas we went to Penn State for a game to go to a bowl game. Does that make sense? Is like it doesn't feel like a celebration of the season like a normal bowl game is.
Yeah, first round
what you're
drops.
saying.
It sucks. I just don't know how.
Would you
you're gonna
rather
do-
just not be in the playoff?
I think the playoff's too big. I think we learned that this year.
Interesting.
I don't think we deserve to be in. Hot takes.
Wait a second.
I don't
Hold-
want to go here. I
Two-
disagree.
Hold on. So you're saying it should be 8 teams
8 teams.
and no home games?
I like the home game.
No home games.
I like
yeah.
the home games.
Yeah, 8 teams, no home games. We start from the quarterfinals.
Do you preference conference champions?
Now, this is where I struggle. I think so, but I don't know. I think I like the idea of conference champions being in, right? Because you have the ability to have Cinderellas, like in basketball, right? Is if you win your conference tournament, you're in the tournament in the big dance, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do.
You can't really do it with football.
In football. Now, Arizona State almost proved us wrong. Like that game was amazing.
Yeah.
That was the best playoff game. So
I think Arizona State should have won.
Arizona
I-
State.
That 4th and 13 was
Okay,
I mean,
stupid.
Arizona State
targeting?
got robbed on the targeting thing, and they should have won the game from
Yeah,
that. But God gave them another chance, and so it's hard for me to feel bad for
They did
them
blow it.
because He gave them another chance, and
they gave up a 4th
blew
and
it.
13 touchdown.
That's what I'm
overtime.
saying. Like
Yeah.
they had every.
Should not have given that up.
It was on them to lose it. Like, did they get robbed per se? Yeah, they would have won the game if the call was made that was right. But they had another chance, and they
yeah,
blew
but
it.
there were other missed calls. Like it's hard to like blame it on one referee decision.
That's what I'm saying. Like they both had like great shots to win. That's why I don't feel
Right.
bad. I'm like
Exactly.
No, that's
Like,
true.
It's like
just win the game next time. Like
yeah.
ah.
And I hate to disappoint you, Jay, but I mean, 16 is coming. So as much as you think it's too big, like it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah. So
I wanted to keep it at 4. I said this 2 years ago. I said this last
That's
year.
the wrong answer.
And
I
say
agree.
it now.
I
There were blowouts in the 4. There's going to be blowouts in the 12. Like it just happens.
I don't like buys.
Just saying.
I think we're learning buys are not good, and I really don't like home field.
I
So let's
like it.
okay, Miami would have made a 16-team playoff, right? Would you
Yeah.
rather, or Iowa State or whoever, these teams
Colorado.
that go and win, or Like these teams that go and win big bowl games. I guess so. Like Iowa State winning the Pop-Tart Bowl, or I don't know, Ole Miss, getting to win in the Gator Bowl. Like those are like that. You end the season on a high note. Even if you lose in that game, Miami lost the Pop-Tart Bowl. It was a good game. They learned a lot about their team, and they got to play in the Pop-Tart Bowl, which is a lot of fun.
Which is like
that's the only
best bowl
though,
game. Now.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is
But like,
best bowl.
would you have rather played in the Pop-Tart Bowl or go and lose at Penn State? Now, if these are the only two, if these are your only two options, you take away the idea of like this is the path to the national championship. Like, what's a more fun game to go play in? I think the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, the Pop-Tart Bowl is more fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, like, I
Pop-Tart
don't
Bowl just
feel
is
like we
more
got
fun,
to-
just generally speaking. It's just
Yeah,
one
well,
gives playoff implications.
or the Mayo Bowl, or even like the
championship
First
implications.
Responders Bowl. Like they try to make it fun. Like they try to make it like a good experience for the players. Whereas, like going to play at Penn State was just like, to me, it didn't feel like a fun way to cap off our season.
Well, we could
But
have.
we
just-
lost.
If we just beat
not fun to lose.
Clemson,
Yeah,
we would
but,
have been
like-
the home team.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
But I
should have been
felt
in a bowl
good
game.
Leaving,
Yeah.
I felt good leaving the ACC championship. We lost, but like I still felt good. Like our team,
Yeah.
like this was a fun experience. This
Yeah.
was, and there was nothing
Yeah.
like.
I have to disagree. I think my perspective, I don't really care about bowl games. I only care about the playoffs. If it's a bowl game, technically speaking or not, I don't care. I just want to be in the playoffs.
You were what's wrong with college football.
Jay's been listening.
I love
to,
bowl games, man.
You've been listening to Josh Pater or something because he's a big fan of like the old school way
Yeah.
of things.
So if it was up to me, I might do a 4 with the BCS computer, maybe an 8 with the BCS computer. 16 is too much, and we don't need a committee. We may put in.
I like 12. I think 12 is good. I like the home games, and I think it should be auto bids, but not auto buys, which I think is probably a popular take right now. That if you win your conference championship, you're in, but you shouldn't get an automatic buy.
Yeah.
I'm in 100%.
Yeah, I
agreement
like
with
that.
Most people think
because
are talking about that.
that's another thing too. Is I'd rather have gone to Arizona State and played Arizona State than go to Penn State.
Right.
Like that's a better first round.
Just give the top 4 teams a buy, wherever they're at.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, but
Yeah.
most people
that-
feel that way. I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I think no matter what, we shouldn't give conference champions buys. We should should get them in. I'm thinking if we go to 8, if I get to make the decision, if we go to 8, the 4 highest ranked conference champions, which this year would have been Georgia, Oregon, Boise State, and
Arizona.
State, which those are the teams that should have been in, right? Clemson didn't need to be in. SMU, we lost our conference championship game. We didn't need to be in.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what I would have liked. 18 playoff, us going and playing in some fun game. Could have played in the Mayo Bowl, could have played in the Pop-Tart Bowl, even the Sun Bowl or like the Holiday Bowl. Like those are like good historic games that like 10 years ago, it was an honor to go to one of those games. And now it's like nothing.
They've definitely ruined the bowls. But it was crazy to me the Pop-Tarts Bowl, like Cam Ward playing the first half to get a record and then sitting out the second half. I was just either play the whole game or don't. I don't like that. I was rubbed the wrong way by that.
I don't know.
It's a bowl game. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Right, but the fact that he played just to get a record and then was like, all right, I'm out, guys. To me, that's just
It's fine. He can
It
do what he
doesn't bother
wants.
me. It doesn't bother me.
This is
it's
the other
lame.
thing.
I don't like it.
If teams don't like their players sitting out, they're paid.
They're getting
put it
paid
in their
to play.
Hold on, put it in their
Yeah.
contract.
Well,
if
but
it
they're
really
not
bothers
getting paid
you,
to play.
yeah. I
They're,
guess
they're getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. They're not getting paid for their on-field performance.
Okay,
no.
but
Well, actually,
There's-
you can't actually tie it to performance, right?
But they sign NIL contract like it. I don't know. I mean, maybe not, but like they're paid to like that's the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it like there's
I'm
it's
just saying
not.
like you're getting
it's not.
paid
Well,
like
you
play.
actually
and there's
you,
insurance policies, right? Like if you get hurt, like it's gonna be okay.
yeah.
and you're getting okay. Well, this is what you can do. You can have it to where it's if you don't play in the game, like they just don't renew your NIL the next year. Like you could have something like that where you
I
like
don't
basically
know.
just tell them and be like, hey,
Too
listen,
much money. Too much money. But
I mean,
someone else will just pay for it.
I mean, I think that happens.
just to play in the game.
Someone
I
else
think
will
that's
sponsor them.
that does happen. Like that's why you see a lot of players like leave schools who are like maybe go to smaller schools because it's like we can't justify paying you that much anymore, and so it's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Listen, y'all were hating on Lane Kiffin at the end of the last podcast, but
that dude's
Ole Miss
hilarious.
showed up and they showed out and they smacked
the Duke's
Duke.
backup.
Okay.
Okay, but
These bowl games don't matter.
their starters played. Like Jackson Dart played the whole game.
Yeah, they were just running up the score.
The point is they cared about winning the game, and that's what I hate about current bowl games. Is like they don't mean anything. So
that's what I was gonna say. Is like Ole Miss showed up because they wanted to play. Duke didn't. Same way that happened to Alabama playing Michigan. They didn't show up because they didn't care.
Well,
yeah, you want to know how to save bowl games? 16-team playoff, loop the bowl games into the first round.
I'd be okay with
the
that.
Pop-Tarts Bowl in the first round.
Or we go back to
that would be
4
so fun.
teams or 2 teams, and then bowl games are what everyone's trying to get into. You try to get a good bowl game. That is your
I think
playoff.
it's too hard to go
Yeah.
back, though.
64-team playoff.
Let's do it.
All the
Every
bowls
games are
matter.
bowls. Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, man.
That would be kind of, that'd be way too much. Imagine that. When would the season end? Like in May?
I said
If you did
this
it that
Year
way.
round.
I'm okay if it ends in July and we start in late August. I'm cool with that.
Seems reasonable. Yeah.
Goodness
I mean, they're just college students.
We'd have plenty of content.
Funnily enough, today I was talking to Lauren. For context, my wife knows nothing about football. She likes basketball, but
She was getting into it.
yeah.
She was mad.
She was mad. Yeah, she was. She was asking me like, "Why? How come there are 64 teams in basketball, but only 12 in football?" And I was trying to explain to her like, you can't play like a football game every 3 days. She's like, "Why not?" And I was like,
because people get
I don't. Yeah,
destroyed.
I don't know how to explain it like in a good way,
A lot
but I was
harder on
like,
your body.
there's just no way you can.
You just say that there's significantly more impacts upon the body, both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
repeatedly over and over and over the course of 4 hours versus in basketball. You don't have that many impacts.
Plus, 300-pound men can only go for so long. I mean,
Yeah.
You know.
How many car crashes can you survive?
Yeah. That's true. No kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the playoff needs to be changed. I don't know exactly how. I think conference champions should matter. I think it should have an impact. And I think that home games are a good idea in theory. I don't really like them in practice. I'm not just saying that because we lost. I'm looking at the other ones. I'm like, maybe it was the matchups. Maybe I would like them better if, we went to an Arizona State instead of.
yeah, and like Boise State might have hosted.
Yeah, it'd be.
It would have been a lot different. But to be fair,
Nobody
better
wants
matchups might have fixed
wants
that
to go
problem.
play at Penn State.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the players, they like the challenge of playing somewhere big.
Yeah.
But I mean, from all I saw of like people who are like prominent in like the media, everybody said like it was a huge success, like bowl games on campus. Not bowl games on campus. Playoff games on
It's
campus.
so cool.
It's not
It's so cool.
I'm just saying it's not going to go away. They're definitely going to change like the auto buy situation. They're definitely going to change it. So I guess we'll see. But
I'd be. Okay
I hope they stay at 12 for a while, because like I remember hearing like in the off season, like, oh, next year, or I don't think it's the case anymore. They're saying next year we're going to go to 16. I was like, how can we go to 16 without even seeing what 12 is like? That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
I'd say
I'd be okay with 16 or 8. I really think that buys are a problem. Like I think we saw that this week, that buys aren't really.
Don't mean anything.
Yeah,
I think
don't
it's just
know.
too much of an advantage for big teams if they have it, and it doesn't make sense for teams that don't deserve it to have
Well, I mean, like Oregon, it didn't didn't work out so well.
right.
I mean,
No.
they came
They got
against a buzzsaw,
That,
but
that was insane.
yeah,
it. Yeah, it
complete
happens.
and utter domination.
Mm-hmm.
But
So I don't know what the answer is. I think those things need to or should matter. And just another idea to throw out. What do y'all think of the idea of a college football commissioner? Like someone is solely responsible, like the CEO of college football.
If it's someone that's
Probably
been
needs it.
involved in the game, like Nick Saban, maybe so, rather than somebody like
yeah, don't
I don't
make
want
it like
Kirk
some
Herbstreit.
like an
I don't-
AD
CEO
or like,
from like ESPN or something. Like don't give
Yeah,
it to like an actual
it's too-
businessman. Give it to somebody that actually lives.
It's
and
too
breathes college
political,
But it's
football.
gonna
Yeah.
end up a business person. Like
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a coach.
I don't know. I think Nick Saban would be a great fit, but
He's not gonna take that. He needs something. He
I
wants
don't
something
know.
lower key.
Yeah,
See.
he's having a good time being Alabama Jones on game
Yeah.
day.
yeah, I like it. I like it.
Hey, did you guys see the humility from Paul Feinbaum? He finally admitted that Alabama shouldn't have gotten in, and like I think some of the SEC
man.
bias kind of slowed down because there's only one team left, and
And they weren't even in the
They-
SEC
Right,
last
they're a
year.
Big 12 team.
they shouldn't have even They shouldn't even be playing. There should be 0 SEC teams.
Yeah, they should have also lost. So it's just funny. Yeah, SEC is
Big
really
Ten is the top conference.
collapsed.
Yeah,
they really
easily,
are.
which is pretty crazy.
And I'm fine with saying that.
Yeah,
I don't like saying the SEC is the best conference. I don't know why. Maybe
don't
it's
like
just
the
because
Big
they're
Ten
just
either.
so
It's
annoying.
just so very arrogant.
Yeah.
and I just really don't mind. Like some years, like, hey, maybe next year the Big 12 will be better than the ACC, or
Nah.
hey, right. Hopefully it's not the case, but like let's shift. The top 4 should be shifting back and forth.
That's the thing. If there's like 1 or 2 conferences that are always on the top, then that poses honestly a danger to college football to me, because they can be like, oh, we're the best. We can just like do our own thing.
Which
But-
it already kind of is, money-wise especially. But I think the ACC was
I think it's going to even out though.
I hope so. I'm not
I
so
think
sure.
it's getting more
To some
and more
degree.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
At least
that-
with
I think-
wins, fan bases you can't even out really, because
Right.
it's like you have
It's
an
like a
alumni
school.
base, and that's
Yeah.
what it is.
I think the talent will get more even, just like with the transfer portal. But the money is the thing. I don't.
because like SMU could be a better team than Alabama for the next 10 years, but Alabama's going to make more money
Yeah.
every single year, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
And the SEC is going to get a better TV deal than the ACC is.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
I mean, we have the CW. We played today on the CW, so
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm fine with it.
I don't know. I just really hope they don't go to like a 16 team with 4 Big 10 guaranteed spots and 4 SEC guaranteed
Yeah.
spots
Yeah.
or more. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to get 6 and 6.
Yeah.
Anyway.
that'd be crazy.
Beside the point.
Mhm.
I'm excited for college basketball. College
Yeah.
basketball is like, it's so fun to watch like
It's a
6 games in a row
Fun sport.
Like, on a Saturday.
Just knock them out.
Just
yeah.
knock them out.
And the postseason is undefeated. Like it's the best postseason in my opinion.
Yeah.
March Madness is
Of any
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah, any
It's
sport.
March
best
Madness is the
postseason.
best post.
pro or amateur, college amateur, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
yeah, definitely looking forward to a fun season of SMU basketball.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
yep, also a good year of the Mustang mood. 2025 is going to be the year of the Mustang
Yeah.
mood.
I think it is.
The year
I
of
think-
the mood.
We've been talking about some things that are like really exciting. You guys should be on the lookout this year. There's going to be some.
We're trying to make stuff happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think I think it's going to.
They even said they'll tell me at some point.
There's some big things on the way. So
Yeah.
So
Stay
if
tuned.
you're not subscribed already, please subscribe,
Yeah.
like, and comment this video.
Leave a voice memo. Tell us what you
Yeah.
think about just how the whole playoffs are going, what you like about it, what you don't like about it.
Yeah. And
Anything
let us
else?
know what you want from the Mustang mood.
Yeah.
Tell us, do you like game breakdowns? Do you like discussions like these? Do you prefer player
Interviews. Yeah.
Do you want us to break down who's coming in the recruiting, transfer portal class, etc.?
Yeah. And yeah, let us know what you want to see. Is there anyone that you want us to interview or anything like that?
Yeah.
So we're definitely, we've got some things going, but we're open to ideas.
Yeah.
So
We'll do whatever.
heck yeah.
We're just
Okay.
we're just chatting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all
it's
it
been
is.
a blast.
Just having
So-
fun.
That's
I
right.
love these guys.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
great.
It's been a great year.
The Mustang mood's been great so far in 2024.
Let's keep it rolling, baby.
2025 is going to be even better.
Come
So,
on.
Right.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Pony up,
everybody.
Yeah.